Well, hello everyone. Welcome to News Friday, the news wrap up. We missed last week. We were on the road doing protests, so we're slowly getting those videos out as well. So we finished the protest in Toronto. It went very well. A lot of waves, lots of waves, a lot of people. We just stood right at the entrance with our sign, "Welcome ExJWfriends.com." And right out the gate, 9 out of 10 people were waving. And those are the disfellowship people, of course, because they leave the assembly first. So they were all waving. They were even sticking their hands out the window, waving, honking the horns and waving. Like they were so excited that there was ExJWfriends.com. We showed on the movie, there's a piece of property right across from there, and we're putting it out to the universe that would be a great headquarters right across from Norvell for ExJW Friends headquarters. Canada. Right across from Norvell, that old house. Anyways, that's just all for fun. We stand there, we imagine these things. But the biggest thing is that there was a lot of people, a lot of positive results from Norvell, from Toronto. And we had some really positive results going into Bethel. Bethel allows apostates. We were real clear on our email. It's mail@xjw.tv. That's our mailing address, right? That's what we put in for email. It came back. They gave us an entry code. We went the next day. No hitches. They didn't talk to me, though, but they really talked a lot to the good wife. Maybe they felt we were coming back. I don't know. But I want to say hi to Ruby. Ruby, you've been here with us. You're just running on your tablet here today. So
Yes.
you have some great stories for us. We're going to share them. You want to
Yes.
get into yours? Okay, I'm gonna get you set up here. You go ahead.
Yes, please. Okay. So the very first thing is another update from Warwick PIMO's story. Done almost an update on every single one of our episodes. So if anybody needs to go back or go to our video tab, check those Warwick PIMO updates because this is the most recent that I found on Twitter. So the good news is that we have a trial date set. And this is what I've been waiting for. I've been waiting to see when this is going to happen because so many people have opinions about Warwick PIMO, whether or not his actions are illegal or legal, or if it's under whistleblowing or whatever the case may be. This is what I'm waiting for so that it can be, set and done once and for all. We don't have to be going back and forth on our opinions. So I'm going to open up a tab for me. Okay, you can still hear me and see me, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we can.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to read this statement that's on Reddit. Mauricio says, "Hello, my beloved friends from this incredible community. Last time I was a bit brief. I sent that message at a moment when I was very joyful. I had some reasons to be so happy because the organization, through the lawyers it hired to defend the 3 elders who are already defendants in the case, tried many maneuvers to weaken the process as well as myself, as I was spending resources and time. But fortunately, after so many maneuvers, we moved to another phase after a heated preliminary hearing. This wasn't my main fear, but what worried us was that while we were still waiting for the judge's decision, a reliable source, PIMO, called me concerned because after the preliminary hearing, the elders had started celebrating with some of their supporters who are close to them. He told me that their lawyers assured them that the case would not proceed to the trial phase. We don't know what convinced them, but we were puzzled by their happiness. One thing I can assure you is that they were at the courthouse every day without exaggeration. The org's lawyers assessed the case daily. They were really happy because on the day of the preliminary hearing debate, for the first time, they came in cheerful and left very happy, even trying to offer us mineral water, but we didn't trust their water. When the decision was favorable to us, we We were very happy. Had it been a contrary decision, we would have been waiting for words like, "We prayed a lot and Jehovah answered at the right moment. No one will succeed in fighting against us, Jehovah's organization." Or, "Jehovah's spirit helped us greatly." I believe that even at the assemblies, they would share their experiences, and maybe a member of the governing body would schedule a special meeting to talk about the apostates in Mozambique. And the same PIMO informed me that if the case falls through, there is a possibility they might start legal action against me as a way to silence me and also clean up their public image, as I would become the villain of the story. The circuit overseer who was mentioned in the report where I spoke to the press was transferred to northern Mozambique to a somewhat more isolated circuit. I don't know the reasons, but he was moved far from where there is confusion after he spoke in the report over the phone. Today, I was notified of the trial date. Mark this date well, September 12th, 2024 at 9 a.m. in Mozambique time, in the first section of the Judicial Court of the District of Masinga. On this day, the elders, 2 from Bethel and 1 substitute circuit overseer, will be in the dock. I take this opportunity to thank you for your encouraging comments that give me strength. I read all of them and I'm immensely grateful for the support you give me. See you soon, Mauricio.
Great.
So there you
Great
go.
story.
That's the update.
Wow. All I can say is wow.
Fast trial, Dave.
That's fast.
Yeah.
And he has all these guys are against him. He's all he has is the people online, us supporters.
Yeah, exactly right.
So,
The ExJW Reddit community, YouTube community, and Twitter. These are the only 3 platforms that I'm seeing his story get spoken about. So I'm glad I caught on to this early on and was giving it exposure. And I'm happy that he's going to finally go to trial.
wow. Okay, well, my story isn't anything like that. Okay, well, I'm going to start with I kind of got behind here a bit in news. We're on our summer holidays. So there's a lot of news, and I'm thanks to watching Watchtower. They don't go on holidays. I haven't seen them take holidays. They have almost 500 videos. They're at 1.6K subscribers. We don't know who they are. Now they're leaving a lot of information on the community list. So if you follow Watchtower for news, this is where you're going to find a lot of their news moving forward, and they're showing how to find things. Like this one here is the Pennsylvania case, and how to find all the people that are in the Pennsylvania judicial system, all the JWs that are being charged. There's a lot of them. And then this next article is a mass grave, forced adoption, and babies with disability left to die. This is more with churches. And we had that up in Canada here, mass graves of infants from churches. So this is all coming out. We're living in a time when everything that is hidden will be revealed. I believe in that fully because we see it happening. A lot. Jehovah's Witnesses preach that Jesus is coming with a sword and he's going to kill everybody, but that's not the case, folks. I've said on a couple of videos, if we read the Bible, Romans 13 verse 1, it says that Jesus is using the governments and the authorities when it comes to good. And when it comes to good, we're fighting crime, fighting CSA within charity-driven religious organizations. Fighting CSA that is hidden and covered up will be revealed by the governments. That's what the Bible says, if you believe in the Bible. So here's another one. Jehovah's Witnesses leaving a cult behind. Can brainwashing be reversed? Now, this is a documentary that I can't play it because it's a documentary, but this is a must watch. It's on our it's also on our Discord.
And we're having a watch
Yeah.
party
That's where I saw
And
the link. Yeah.
we're going to have a watch party tonight
With
on
this
Discord
video.
with this video. I don't know. Is it scheduled?
Yeah, it's right now it's scheduled for 7 p.m. Mountain Time.
7 p.m. Mountain Time.
But
It's
it
scheduled.
might be pushed back an hour.
Could be pushed back an hour.
That's all. Yeah.
So it's going to be tonight. We're going to watch it as a community. If you haven't joined Discord yet, at the bottom of this video is a link to Discord in the description. You just click the link, you're in, and we'll get you welcomed in. So this is really important. We're going to watch this documentary. And on Discord, we can watch music documentaries. There's no licensing issues. It's Discord's kind of a private community. Right now we're live. And when we go live, we can't even have someone really sing lyrics of other people's lyrics and play the tunes. You can kind of sing them and hum them, but if you start getting into the tunes and imitating the real artist, we get a copyright. We have to trim it. So we just don't try. Here's another one, watching Watchtower. Flaws persist in FBI's handling of child sex abuse cases, Watchdog says. So the FBI mishandled child sex abuse allegations even after enacting new protocols since its bundled investigation. So it looks like we've got some problems. What do they say? We got problems. The astronaut? Houston, we have some problems. That's what we have. The Federal Bureau of Investigations are not handling the sex offenses. Why? You see, everything revealed, everything hidden will be revealed. This is all coming out. Watching Watchtower, they're bringing out the FBI seeks information, more coverage, secretive. So this is all coming out. CSA survivors, secretive church place. So there's everything here if you want to really get into some of this. I'm not going to get into a lot of it. I'm getting tired of talking about all these things, these CSA cases. I'm going to, after you do your next article, I'm going to bring up what's happening to some of the kingdom halls. It's quite interesting.
Okay.
And we're going to tell you about what Bethel is doing. So, but this is just about over. This is they're on their watching Watchtower. There's all these articles. How a photograph from Bochum wants to make loneliness visible. They have all kinds of different articles here.
Words out.
So Washington State agrees to pay $18 million to settle child sex abuse. Washington State. That's the state that's doing that one. So there's an article there in itself. Charlotte man charged in 210 murder, no longer representing himself. This is a North Carolina article. Looks like Jehovah's Witnesses, something to do with them. So that's the end of that for the community playlist on watching Watchtower. We just did kind of a brush over on it. Now we're going to move over to your next article. And that's this one.
Okay, so yeah, this one is kind of uncomfortable to read, so I'm not going to read it in its entirety, but if anybody wants to do it, you can link it for me since I can't do it on my tablet, but I'm just going to go over some of the details. So this has to do with obviously Jehovah's Witnesses, and I feel exactly like you do, Vern. Sometimes I get a little sick and tired about talking about CSA. I can't believe how much of it is happening. But this is what I am more interested in. I am more interested in what are the consequences going to be for the groomer or for the abuser, especially if they were Jehovah's Witnesses, because I am expecting, right, a higher moral stance, and I'm expecting that the state or the government or the judicial system would persecute these people more because they use their influence in religious settings to get close to their victim. So this is upsetting for me because this, as you can see the title, child groomer, Jehovah's Witness, Pamela Lonergan walks free from prison. And that is upsetting. When you scroll down a little bit above the picture, it says Jehovah's Witness who groomed boy from the age of 14 and then took his virginity walks out of prison after just 9 months. That is super upsetting. I think that she should be considered a pedophile And I believe all pedophiles should either be in a life sentence for ruining a child's life, or that they should get the death penalty. And that is my own opinion. And in the state of Florida, if you do harm a child under the age of 12, you will get the death penalty. So I'm not being too, I don't think my stance is that crazy, but that's how strongly I feel about children and when abusers like this in religious settings take advantage of them. So if you want to go read that story for yourself, anybody in the chat, you can definitely do that, because basically the story is this woman was 26 years old when she started grooming a 14-year-old boy. And it wasn't until the age of 16 that the abuse turned sexual. And then it wasn't until this young man turned at least 18 to 20 years old that he finally reported the abuse. And now I think she's like, 40? She's 44 years old now. So you can see how these people can get away with it when you do not uncover the truth about what's going on in any religious setting. I don't care where it is, but especially that it comes from a kingdom hall or it comes from a Jehovah's Witness, who we used to be, places that we used to attend. It's disgusting and it's scary. And this is why I always say this in all of our streams. Never let your children set foot in a kingdom hall. They are not safe environments for your children. It's proven. It's proven. But you can say that about any place. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be biased. It's dangerous all over the world, but especially in religious settings when you know that CSA is happening. And this woman got to go walk free out of just 9 months after she ruined this boy's life. So this happens way too often. And I found this article on Twitter, and I just wanted to bring it up once again so that we can shed light on what happens to the abuser. Sometimes either nothing happens, they sweep it under the rug, or they walk free after 9 months. It's sad and disgusting, and the more we bring attention to this, the more we can protest these types of things. Like with the shunning stuff, it's the same thing with CSA issues. We need to protest to get justice.
Well, thank you for that, Ruby. I agree with you 100%. And what blows my mind is that the FBI is dropping the ball when it comes to.
That's a different story.
That's another story.
That's a rabbit hole that you really don't want to get into, because then it starts spilling over into the deep state. And I personally do not trust the FBI, so I'm not surprised that they are dropping the ball with extreme cases like that.
Now, here's one. Did you know that Philip Brumley, he's appealing his sanction? Did we cover that on this?
I did not know that, and it is embarrassing that he's doing that. It's really embarrassing.
Talk about the Watchtower trying to save face. Like he's muddied himself, Brumley, and now he's dragging it all over the courts again. Rather than walking away, tail between your legs, Watchtower, they're gonna fight this. They're going to fight this. Watchtower has money to fight. It's important that you guys know that if you're JWs out there and you're supporting the JW organization, you're supporting this stuff. You're supporting Philip Brumley's lying in court. You're supporting all the money that's going towards him, Watchtower, trying to fight this again. And so they're going to pull these two ladies out. Watchtower settled this. Like they settled it, but now maybe they're going to use money to try to get these ladies in court again to change their viewpoint on Philip Brumley. Now that they got these ladies with money settlement, I don't know what's going on, but we're going to keep following it. Watchtower is going to keep following it, and we'll keep exposing this. Now, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Big news about Jehovah's Witnesses' financial assets. The experienced financial directors are all understood to also have ties to religious movements. Now, what is this talking about? Thousands of newspapers, Jehovah's Witnesses. We're going to get into this. Former top executives joins Jehovah's Witnesses' new Ireland-based asset venture.
Oh yeah.
So what's going on? Did you hear about that one?
I saw it on Twitter and I read a little bit about it, but I don't understand it 100%. So I have to read more into that
Yeah.
story.
So this is just JW.org. They're getting into everything. We've covered articles here where they're buying real estate in the UK, the presidential suites. They're investing. They're throwing their money somewhere, and now they're joining asset ventures. They want to throw their money somewhere. So this is what the world's keeping an eye on it. This is part of what we do as activists is we're exposing this. We're giving you guys as the audience the rest of the story. When you go to Bethel, you hear none of this. So it's interesting.
Right.
So we'll jump over to yours again if you're ready, Ruby.
Okay.
And I think
Yes.
we have it over here. We have this article.
Okay, yes, that one. Okay, so this story I also got from Twitter. It's coming out of Brazil, and it's very interesting because right under the title it says, "Court must decide whether blood transfusions can be refused for religious reasons and whether the government must pay for alternative treatment." So if anybody wants to go ahead and read, the meat of this story, you can definitely, link it. But if you scroll down to the bottom, I think after it says read more, let me see. It says right here, I'll just read a little bit at the bottom. It says, for religious reasons, she refused a blood transfusion. So that's the woman they're talking about. Signing a consent form regarding the risks, but denied prior authorization for transfusion, resulting in the cancellation of the surgery. So the court upheld the decision that the surgery could not take place without the possibility of transfusion due to the risks. So the patient appealed, arguing that the requirement for consent violated her dignity and right to health, claiming that it is up to her to decide on the risks of treatment. So that's what this case is about. That's what this article is about. And then at the very bottom, it says how the Attorney General's office suggested that the state should cover the cost of treatments that respect religious freedom as long as these alternative treatments are available in the public health system. So that's the back and forth that I wanted to get into. Do you think that the state, in your country or in the United States or any other country, do you think that your state should allow or pay for alternative methods because they are coming, they're bumping heads with the problem of these like religious exemptions or like religious decisions of when it comes to healthcare? That's super important in my opinion.
Well, I think number one, these governments have to recognize that they're dealing with a cult. They're not dealing with a religion. This is not a religion that goes out and does humanitarian things. They claim they do when there's a disaster. They hand out a few bottles of water, fix up their kingdom halls and a few houses. This organization does not do humanitarian stuff. It does not go out and help poor people. It does not build hospitals, nursing homes. It does not help orphans and widows, as James 1:29 says it should. All these religions that are charity should be taking the charity money per seat and helping the communities. Jehovah's Witnesses are a cult. They help themselves. They're paying lawyers' fees. They're fighting. They just like fighting. Rutherford's a Judge Rutherford, the fake judge. But it's all litigious. It's all legalities. Their elders' book is a judicial book. It's not a loving shepherding book by any means. We expose that Monday nights, by the way. But this is a destructive religion. I don't know why they call it a religion. It's a cult. And Spain is now calling it a sect, cult. I think all over the world, we have to just recognize this as a cult. It's a cult like Scientology and like all these other cults. Mormons are a cult too. Any of these cults that want you to follow men, and they want you, this is the worst one. It dictates, because we sign over a power of attorney when we sign that blood card. I did for 30 years, signed it for my kids. I was willing to let my kids die for 9 men in New York who misread the scriptures, who are misreading the scriptures. And they even publicly proclaim that they misread the scriptures. They said they're not inspired. They don't have a clue because they're making so many errors. And now they're trying to change their religion. So anyways, that's my rant.
But you know what? Okay, Vern, thank you for saying that, because you know in the United States there has been cases where they would not let the child die, even if the parents signed over that they did not want a blood transfusion. God forbid something would happen to them,
Yeah.
and then that would be conflicting with parental rights when it comes to healthcare. So that's the gray area of freedom of
Mhm.
religion and then freedom of healthcare choices. That's why I mentioned this case, because in Brazil they might have different laws, and if they want the government to pay for alternative healthcare options, that's where I'm thinking you shouldn't be asking anybody or anything to be paying. If that's you, if it's a personal choice, then you should pay for it, or you know you
Mhm.
should have the consequences of whatever healthcare options that you want for yourself or your children. But especially when
Mhm.
it comes to children, the doctor should override parental rights in some instances to save life. See, that's what's important in my opinion.
Yeah. See,
So
life
that
over
may
death.
be right.
Jesus was about life over death. Any Christian religion out there is life over death. Even the Jews themselves take blood transfusions. They read the scriptures differently. The only ones that I know of on this planet that read it the way Jehovah's Witnesses read it are Jehovah's Witnesses. The only ones on the planet. You got to ask yourselves,
Yes.
are they reading it right? Because I go back to
Right.
this. I'm going to play this just so everyone has it. Here it is, a little bit.
We don't have the answer to those questions.
And
also, the governing body is neither inspired nor infallible, and so it can err in doctrinal matters or in organizational direction.
so, like, we're not saying this. They're telling us, the governing body is telling us, you and I, as the audience, that they're nonsense. They're not even inspired. They make mistakes in
Right.
doctrinal matters. Like, why are we sacrificing our lives for those 9 men? This is the only cult on earth that requires you to die for the 9 men, the way they read the scriptures. And here they tell us they don't have the answers. They made so many mistakes and they're not inspired, but somehow it's Jehovah's fault.
No, yeah,
This is a farce.
that's where your
This
red
is a farce.
flag should go. That's
Yeah.
wrong. But you know what? I think it was Jerron B who said in one of
Mhm.
his videos that he was talking to an ex-Mormon, and they
Mhm.
said the same thing, that they don't take any blood transfusions. And he was like, "Really? I've only ever heard
Really?
Jehovah's Witnesses that don't take blood
Mhm.
transfusions." Yeah. So I think it's like a another branch off of the Latter-day
They're
Saints,
teaming up.
and
Cults
they
are
don't take
teaming up.
blood transfusions either. So I don't know. That's what I've heard from Jerron. So
Mhm.
that's interesting,
Okay,
right?
well, here's Watching Watchtower has this little thing here. What is it? Witness list for FLDS cult trial includes Warren Jeff's Secret Service. I don't know. I'm just looking at this. Do you know about this guy?
I
Church
know
of
about
Jesus Christ
him.
polygamy
Yeah,
trial has been released. This is Mormon stuff, isn't it?
Jeff Warren, wasn't he a leader of the
yeah,
FLDS, a branch, a pretty fundamental branch, and he had many wives?
Yeah, this guy had a lot of
yeah,
wives. So polygamy trial, Mormon cult.
And
yeah. They
I
try to
believe,
distance themselves from him because of the things he was doing. They claim that's
Yeah.
not like what Mormonism is really supposed to be about.
no,
But yeah,
right.
that's what happened.
Wasn't it young wives too, Ruby? Like
Yeah.
young wives? Yes, okay, yeah.
Now here's a thing, and this is going on in Washington. Help is available for people up to 25 in Washington right now. And how to get support, request help. It's a helpline for coming out of these cults.
Cool.
Classmate going
Really?
through a tough time. If you have a concern, we want to hear about it. What do they have? Domestic abuse, threats of violence, all kinds of things. Suicidal thoughts. So lots of ExJWs have suicidal thoughts. So you go on there if you're having thoughts. I've talked to ExJWs that had the noose hung up on the
Rafter.
on the rafters, and they sat there contemplating the noose. Am I going to kill myself? They just woke up. Suicidal thoughts. Well, that's actually taken it even further. there's lots of stories out there. We have to get help if we're having these thoughts. So the help is out there. They want you to go through these surveys, especially if you're young. And that's when you're really it's a tough time going through life is when you're young. You're vulnerable in those years. And you imagine young people trying to leave the JW organization. It's traumatic.
They don't have the perspective either.
Yeah, they don't have the perspective.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think we've all been there, honestly. I mean, I still struggle myself. Like, I don't think it really goes away all the time, because you're always going to be doubting yourself.
Yeah.
Even in your dreams, like subconsciously, I have the doubts and the thoughts as well. So it's a struggle that I think most of us go through. So that's really good information.
Okay, now Jehovah's Witnesses, they get a surprise at the door. They're looking different at the door, the Jehovah's Witnesses. I'm going to play a little video here, how they're looking at the door. So here they are. Let me just get this playing.
Cleveland Street Preachers.
Street preachers, love it.
John 14:17. I don't know if the New World Translation changed that verse too, but when I checked it a few years ago with some Jehovah's Witnesses, I don't know if word got to your to the watchtower, but I know years ago John 14:17 did say he.
You want me to read that?
They changed it.
The spirit of the truth, which the world
Cannot receive because it neither sees it nor knows it. Years ago, that used to say he, so they changed it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are aware of that. But in John 16, they haven't changed it yet. So if they change it, that's going to be interesting, because in the Greek, it's very clearly uses a pronoun for a man, he. So if Jehovah's a he, and he's the father.
Is this how Jehovah's Witnesses are dressing when they are going to people's doors? They are not immediately recognizable as being Jehovah's Witnesses. Is that a deliberate tactic that they are now using?
Yeah.
People need to be warned about this.
They look like they're there to take a survey or something. You know, maybe they could be from the power company, maybe. Who knows? So that's that one.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Okay, what else do we have? We have a lot of stuff here. A Kingdom Hall of Jehovah's Witness is now a Buddhist temple. Want to see that one?
Wow.
They're turning these things into Buddhist temples.
Where? In the United States? New Jersey? Oh, no.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
should I go back?
Yeah, that's wrong in my opinion. That's crazy.
Now it's a Buddhist temple. See the Buddhist out front there, the fountain over here?
Yeah.
That's the new Kingdom Hall. Well, they're good buildings for this kind of stuff. There's the ad.
You done? No.
So that's what's happening to some of these Kingdom Halls that they're selling.
The House of Jehovah, right?
They dedicated them. Remember when they used to dedicate them when we go in and this is a House of Jehovah, we dedicate this to Jehovah? They just sell it now in the real estate to anybody, whoever wants it. Buddha. There's another one. Another one here. That's just this is a. Let me see if I can find the other Buddha or the other temple. Oh yeah, here's another one.
5 Lillahee Avenue, Hastings, Minnesota 55033, United States. Jehovah's. Permanently closed.
Hastings Kingdom Hall. Permanently closed.
18205, Lillahey Avenue, Hastings, Minnesota, 55033, United States.
They're just putting it on the real estate market. 195K.
Wow.
The rank and file built every square foot of that building, and they just sell it. They need the money for grumbling.
Oh my God.
So here's the Buddhist temple. Cool, eh? There's your Kingdom Hall platform. There's nothing sacred about these buildings. I hope people know that. Like,
That's,
they go and build.
that's what is bothering me. It's like,
Here's what's taken over the JW religion, because that stuff that they do. Here's what it's like, I guess. Now that Kingdom Hall, this is what's going on inside Kingdom Hall.
I can't believe it. It's shocking.
Yeah. The Watchtower needs to be exposed. This is what they're doing with rank and files, with everything they've done. Anyways, that's that one. Yeah.
Yeah, my brain. There's like two sides of my brain that is fighting with each other right now, because one side of my brain is saying, yeah, that's supposed to be Jehovah's house. Why would you even sell it to false religion? Or that's more like spiritually wrong. But then the other side of my head is saying, well, business is business. It shouldn't have to do with anything about religion. If it's bought and they do whatever they want with it, then that's up to them, right? Like, that's the American libertarianism feeling, like, oh, as long as you're not hurting anybody, then anybody can buy it, and that's fine. But the religious part of me is saying, absolutely not. Jehovah's people built it. It was Jehovah's house. Jehovah's Holy Spirit was in that house. And that's blasphemous for somebody else to buy it and to worship a false god. It's disgusting to me. So I'm struggling. I'm struggling here. It's just horrible.
Maybe Buddha is not a false god. Maybe there's something real there.
It is my opinion that if it's not about Jesus Christ, then it's false and it's wrong. And it's just like I'm struggling. I'm just gonna say I'm struggling. I'm struggling. Yeah, it's hurting me.
I worked my way out of Calvinism. It's a form of Calvinism. It's a spell, and we're all put under this spell. Even as a Christian, we're put under this spell to you're going to have to lose your family. There's a lot of JW stuff in the Bible. I don't care how you read it. They're reading the JW stuff. If so and so does this, oust them from the congregation. The Apostle Paul, the guy who used to kill Christians. I don't buy into all this crap. I'm sorry. And when I go around the world and look up Buddha and some of these religions, there's some cool stuff. And even in the Bible itself, it says, everyone who fears God. Well, what God? Now, if I go to Deuteronomy 32:8-9, Jehovah is a God of the Israelites. He was given his portion, Jehovah. Jehovah likes the smell of burning fat. Jehovah, think of it, Jehovah just goes in and kills all these nations. No, we're going to keep 32 virgins. You talk about child sex abuse. It's right there in the Bible. In the worst case, in Jehovah's hands. I'm looking at Jehovah differently, and I said on videos long ago, I don't worship Jehovah. I'm trying to erase Jehovah out of my head. And sometimes it's there. So I have to say to God, the God that maybe Paul talked to, when he went to Athens, and there was the God of no name. Well, why didn't he bring up Jehovah if Jehovah's so important? He didn't. He talked about the God of the cosmos. He did not talk about Jehovah. He had the opportunity, but I don't believe anybody in the New Testament followed Jehovah. I don't believe. In fact, Jesus said in John 8:44 to the Pharisees, whose God is Jehovah, your God's the devil, manslayer from the beginning, killing lots of people. That's what Jesus says. I don't know how to decipher that, but I look at Christianity as a whole. They don't know anything about Jehovah. My good wife has never heard about this Jehovah until we started doing this 2 years ago. Never heard of it. All she knew about was Jesus. She was Catholic. She knew that Jesus did all these things, and we have to follow Jesus. And a lot of Christian religions are about Jesus. They don't even talk about Jehovah. We were brainwashed into the Jehovah stuff. We don't know hardly anything about Jesus. And now the governing body is trying to put Jesus on a horse, like Jehovah, put a sword in his hand and make him kill all these people. BS. I don't buy any of it. Jesus is not the killer. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, well, the Old Testament, yeah, Jehovah or God, because I don't call God Jehovah either in the Old Testament. So I do have to continue learning and continue reading and asking questions about that. And I do know that a lot of ExJWs and just a lot of people in general hold your same opinions, exactly what you said. I hear it all the time. But as I am learning it through my journey of Christianity and learning it again, like deprogramming everything that I thought I knew, and then reprogramming it with what I think like the Orthodox Christians, which are Orthodox Catholics, because they're not Roman Catholics. They're just Orthodox Catholics, like the very original Christianity that has started. So when I'm learning what they're talking about, those are the same type of questions that I'm bringing up. And so even though I don't like 100% agree with everything that you said, I am starting to not be afraid to ask those questions. Like, why did the God of the Old Testament do this, this, and this? Why did he kill so many people? Or what was the context and the place and time of all of these stories? And then put the pieces together of who God was in the Old Testament. So I don't have like too many opinions about that, but I am learning.
It's a rabbit hole. It's a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Now, I was going to say something about our trip this summer, and it was good for me to get out of the shipping container and get out into the real world. I haven't really been out in the real world here for a couple of years since the virus, and so it's been good. All in Canada, there's a huge immigration. There's a huge migration into Canada, about 350,000 people a year from India, Pakistan, all those countries. So right from the get-go, from our Vancouver, from the West Coast, we noticed all the little motels and stuff are bought up by Indian. And these are East Indian, not local Indians, nothing. Local Indians are on their reserves. They're happy there, I guess. But they're not interested in getting involved. But there's a lot of money flowing in. They're buying up motels. They're buying up properties. They're coming in as immigrants. Some of the people on the channel even are making a living by teaching the immigrants how to make resumes, how to get jobs. Canada is such a big place. I guess we have the room for a lot of people, but it's creating some issues. Now, right now in Toronto, the immigrants from India are saying we don't want to pay taxes because we don't pay taxes in India. They don't pay taxes in India. It's kind of pay-as-you-go system. So they want to implement that here in Canada. And now we have immigrants stamping immigrants coming in the country. We don't have any locals doing the stamping. It's immigrants pulling in immigrants. So we got to ride around with immigrants.
Yeah.
We got to ride around with immigrants, and a lot of the immigrants wear turbans. Well, I don't have enough hair to wear a turban, but they wear turbans. What's a turban? I did a video on this the other day. Look at Samson in the Bible. He would have had to wear a turban with his long hair. And the Nazarites, turban is really about the Nazarites. They don't cut their hair. They'd put it up in a turban, I could imagine, back then, to keep the sand and the dust out of it, to keep it clean. And they wrap their hair in this turban, and their hair is long. And like the Nazarites, it's about God. It's about their worship to God and about being holy. And I covered that all about the Nazarites. It's in the Bible. Why should we be, as Christians, alarmed at this? Why would we demonize this because we're not familiar with it? Well, we are familiar with it. It's in our darn Bible. It's the Nazarites. And these guys, I talked to a lot of them. They're very holy people. They run good families. They don't shun. They don't disfellowship. They're about pulling the family together. All these Sikhs that wear turbans. I don't view any of these other nationalities or cultures as evil or bad. That's a JW programming that we look out at the world, all these religions are evil. That's bullshit. Bullshit. We have to change that thinking, because in God's eyes, all people in God's eyes are equal. All people in God's eyes are acceptable to him. It's right in our Christian Bible. And it's in their Bible. Their Bible also says that they have to look at us the same way, as good people, as neighbors. The Hutterites, the Mennonites, they all look at us as neighbors, good neighbors. They will bend over backwards to make sure they keep a good neighbor policy. People all over the earth, if we start looking at people that they're just like us, they're trying to fit in. Now they were raised in a culture. They wear turbans, we don't. We're raised in a Christian
Right.
culture.
Cultural difference. Yes. Right.
I see that if we're gonna build this like love that Jesus talked about, we have to accept all kinds of people. And it has to be based on something as simple as love and love of neighbor. Put aside all the other stuff. Love and love of neighbor. And if we have that within countries, nationalities, within peoples, we have unification. We have friends. And we have to get used to it. Here in Canada, we do, because 350,000 people a year are coming in, and we have turbans in the police force and all kinds of stuff going on here in Canada. So it's a changing country. It'll be, Canada will soon be small India. We are a minority. 1 out of 10 whites are a minority in Canada right now.
That's exactly what's happening in the United States too, which I don't necessarily think is a good thing. I mean, I get what you're coming from, but I hold a completely different opinion than that. And I talk about it on my political show. These are just some issues that countries have when they have open borders, or that they have open immigration policies, and not necessarily good effects come from that. So it is.
It's interesting. Well, thanks for all that. I want to show you some more stuff if you have time. We have time here. We're only at 47 minutes. Now, there's you're not alone. Leaving a cult. Can brainwashing be reversed? This is that video I'm going to talk about again in case you're late coming on the show today in the news. We're going to be running this video on our Discord channel tonight at 7. It's a documentary. It's a 41-minute documentary. It's made out of Germany. They have the suicide crisis helpline here. Leaving a cult. It's a German public broadcast service. And breaking free from the clutches of a cult or a cultish religion movement is a long and painful process. I don't know about you, but I've been at this, and I met up on our meetups in Toronto with the ones that we had talked about that are on our Discord channel, JM and Jonathan. So we met up, and for them too, we all left this cult 2010, 2011. We spent 10 years finding love. We couldn't find love in the cult because all the cult members are married to the governing body. You can't find real love if your mate or partner is married to the governing body. If they're married to the elders in the elder book and the governing body, that's what they're married to. They're not married to you. So we leave the organization, we find love. 10 years goes by pretty quick. And now we're dealing with our brain and our old JW thinking. We're all doing the same thing. It's interesting, I find. So what they're saying here is leaving a cult is a long and painful process. I didn't realize this when I started leaving mentally. And it is. So far, it's one that has largely gone undocumented. Few people talk about the years of struggle and the relapses breaking free entails. 5 people have gone through the process, talk about their experience. This documentary about leaving cultish religion movements behind illustrates how powerful the conditioning is and how deeply dependent it makes its victims. So we're going to cover that later on. If you can't attend the Discord, we're going to put a link to this. I'll put a link to this after the video's done. This is one, a must watch. Another one here is this JISC Online. Have you heard about that? It's on Discord as well. Ruby, you've heard of this? No? Yes? Well, it's a link to a survey online, and this is done by the University of Salford, Manchester. Are you a former member of a cultish group? So this is a survey that would be good to take. Here's what it looks like when you pull it in. to your website. They're investigating the psychological health and well-being of current and former members of a variety of groups, organizations. It's a quantitative study. So all of us ExJWs, it would be important for us to be a part of this study. We can do it online. I'll put a link to this, and you can just click into it and you can start going through it. There's an online consent form. It starts right here. You can start with the study. Yes, it's very easy to do. After submitting, I could go through it online even. But I think you should go through it personally. I might type some stuff in that maybe I don't want you to see. I want them to see it. So I guess we lost Ruby. She's on her tablet today, so she might come back in a bit. So this is a good one. The last part of there's Ruby's coming back in. Let's see. The last part of this show, the news here today, I wanted to talk about was one of our creators, Alora Mermaid. And Alora is on our Discord channel. She has her own site. She's very active in the community. So if you haven't had a chance to subscribe to Alora, please subscribe. You just plug in Alora Mermaid, you'll pull her up. And she's doing a lot of videos on Barbies. Hers are all about Barbies. She's got and it's good therapy to do this kind of thing, because you can kind of get your aggression out with your stories. So she has a Barbie for everyone. Have you seen any of this, Ruby? Some of the Barbie stuff? I think you're in there. You're one of the Barbies, I think.
Yeah. Yes, I saw it. I love it. I used to play with them when I was little, so I'm totally in it. I love it.
I have a Barbie too, Ruby.
So did you have I was gonna close up with this close up just kind of as my last screen. I was gonna play this Last Supper. It's a short that Alora built with the Barbies. Now, did you have any other news stuff that you wanted to talk about before we finish the show? Oh, we lost Ruby.
I saved something on Twitter that was in this.
Okay, so let's play this while Ruby comes back online, and I'm gonna let's go right to the beginning here. Here it is. Oops.
Right now, they're just telling me this right now.
Hi, I'm Alora Mermaid, and I was raised a Jehovah's Witness.
And
when I was little,
okay,
and I also
I think Ruby's coming back in. So that was the 1 minute short. And if you go to Laura's channel, you can watch the whole video. She has let me see here. It's got a lot of videos. Here it is. The Last Supper, a new dramatization. She has that. You can watch the whole video. It's I think it's a 5-minute video, and you can watch it right on Alora's channel. So I think my last item, I have one more item, but anyways, go ahead, Ruby. We got you back on. Your mic's muted. Your mic is muted. You must have your mic muted.
Oh, yeah, she just got it. She's fixing it.
And maybe while we're waiting, Ruby's going to unmute her mic. We'll say hi to everyone. There's Dehydrated Nurse. Yeah, they don't give anybody any of that money.
Joe and Fran were on.
We have Key-Fred on.
Oh.
We have Chad. Chad's on. You're still muted, Ruby. I can't unmute you. Okay, she went out. We have San Diego PIMO on. Hello. Joe and Fran. Hello, Joe and Fran. And we have Lee and Becky. Becky?
Yeah.
And here's Ruby Quinn. She's
okay. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now.
Now I know how Joe and Fran feel. This is horrible with the tablet. Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah. Do you use two screens when you present? Do you use a double
Not
screen?
on the tablet, no. But when I'm on
No,
my
but
desktop, it's just one.
oh, okay. I like using a two screen. I've always used it with work and stuff. I've always had two
Yeah.
screens. Some of our techs used to have three screens.
Yes.
Okay, Beverly. Hello, Beverly. Yes, they are going over their financial agenda. They're broke. I think they're selling. You know what we've seen in Bethel here? They have. Do we have that little map? They have a little thing right at the front gate. And Holly, the Bethel guide. I'm going to actually do a video on this. I just haven't had time. My internet was so slow last night to do one video. It took me 6 hours to upload it.
Yeah, something's going on.
I don't know if YouTube is slow or the internet's. The whole world's broken a bit, and we're going to find internet crashes. We're going to find all kinds of crashes happening. Our medical system's crashing here. We have issues. Bethel has a map where they're showing how they're building the new prototypical kingdom halls are 65 seats. No more 100 seaters, no more 100. It's all 65 seats. That's their new kingdom hall build. And they have a little thing that makes into a little kingdom hall for the kids to make. She gave us two of them. We're going to make one up.
I actually left them with Jonathan for his kids. Yeah.
She left them with Jonathan, but we have them on video. And when I do the video, I'll show it. But I talked about it. And all the new people, you would think of all the immigrants coming in, right? And JWs are going door to door. These immigrants don't know anything. And they're going door to door and they're saying, join our religion, So immigrants are joining the religion. They know nothing. 65 little kingdom halls, they're filling them up. They don't know anything about, and then they can learn English, right? So what I noticed, a lot of the immigrants that were driving out of the assembly were waving because they don't know. They're waving at us like, hi. I'm waving there, welcome, right? It's immigrants. Now, I want to show you what we're doing. And I got this off of, I don't know where I got it off of. Oh, Jonathan told me this, ex-Witness Awake.
Yep.
He said, plug in your like I plugged in Spruce Grove, Alberta, Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses Google review. Plug that into Google right now. I did it. I did my review. So you go into the review here. I'm going to blow this up and I'm going to show you my review. Can I pull this in? No. So here's what it looks like, best I can do. It shows a picture of the Kingdom Hall. This is the Kingdom Hall I was in. And this is what they got on their Google post, right? Let's see if I recognize anybody. That's the Kingdom Hall. No, that's 150 build Kingdom Hall. Now they're going to 65. But anyways, the Google review, you click on the stars. There's 12 Google reviews. I was the last one. I'll blow this one up. Now, here's all the other reviews. You look at them, they're all fluff, right? They got JWs are going in and doing their own reviews. They're doing 5-star. The Zake, what does he say? Nothing. Or does he say something? Do I have it blown up too much?
Yeah, I think it's blank. Yeah, they're just putting the stars. They're not putting anything in there.
Yeah, because you don't have to leave a comment.
Yeah, they're not even putting anything in. So now let me go back. I'll show you. So these guys are just putting 5 stars and no reviews. No reviews. What are they saying? Oh, this guy said very warm and friendly, happy people, right? This guy says I was in there for 5 years. He yelled, oh, that's me. This guy says, for this Vern Hool guy, he says I was in Parkland Congregation for 5 years. The elder body had a pedophile on as an elder. They were brutal when it comes to judicial matters, even stopping me from preaching. That is when I realized this is a cult. My family was destroyed by this cult, with elder and ministerial servants committing adultery with regard my family at the time. I'm now divorced, have left the cult. My life is a way better. Join ExJWFriends.com for help out of this destructive cult. I don't know what else to say. I just have to say it the way it is. That's the way I see it. And that was my experience there. But you see, they're leaving all this fluff, guys. So all of us ExJWs, we have to change this. This is their PID department. And how we can all be involved as XJWs. There's 33 of us online. Google it right now and put your comments in. What was your last experience? And be real. Like, be honest. I'm just being honest. I have stuff that I can't resolve. What do you think, Ruby?
I've never thought about doing that, but
I didn't either until Jonathan, ex-witness awake, said this is a thing. And a lot of XJWs, we keep talking about this, and let's all leave a review. We all need to leave our review on Google. You know why? All the immigrants coming in, they look at reviews. When you're ordering an Uber, you look at reviews. You're ordering a 5-star one. You're choosing the 5-star over the 4-star. You're looking at comments. We have to let people know what's affected us in this cult, why our lives are destroyed, what happened to us, and how we recovered. And I think always put exjwfriends.com, give people, there could be JWs in there that are awoken. They don't know what to do. Maybe they're young people. They can come online. I think we need to, our PDI department is you guys.
Right.
It is. And Ruby and I are here just putting this stuff out week after week. And it's us together, you guys, us, right? It's not just the apostates. It's all of us. And the more we have a voice, the more we say something. And this is so easy, this Google reviews. So easy. You just plug in your congregation, Google review, and it comes up. Just click the stars. You click the stars.
They're gonna click on that, and they're gonna see who you are. The Jehovah's Witnesses in that Kingdom Hall. I don't have a doubt that they would go on exjwfriends.com, and they're going to see what you're all about. They're probably going to look you up, look your name up on the internet. They're going to do a deep dive. Yeah.
I even signed up with Google to be a local guide, level 4. Just today. I did this all today. Get suggestions for rating and reviewing. I've done lots of reviews. I've done restaurant reviews. Have you? If you had a good experience? No? I had a mechanic. I just moved to this area and I'm out in the country. This was like 5 years ago. And it was 40 below out, literally, and my heater went. My truck froze up. I just passed this little mechanic place on the side of the road, turned around, drove in. That guy had a heater ordered in, had it repaired, charged me 1/2 hour. No one does that. Charged me a half hour. And the core of their heater, it was like $126. There's no mechanic that does that. This guy was so honest. And so I gave him a 5-star review. I like giving good reviews.
Okay. Yeah. I just haven't done that. But when I used to work at a fast food restaurant, we would look at the reviews that came for our location, because that would determine whether people are going to come to your location or not. So the manager was really on top of us, because some of the people would put your name, because you have to have like a name tag, and you're at the drive-through or you're handling with customers, and they would put your name on there. They would say, oh, so-and-so helped me, or this person was so rude, or this manager. So they would really like grill us on our behavior and like customer service. So that's the only reason why I was like, I knew like about that and I was on top of it, but I never really did reviews for myself like that. So I'm definitely gonna have to look into it.
I think this is the first. I just did this morning. This is brand new for me.
Yeah.
Jonathan told me, so I thought it was cool. I wanted to share that today. Okay. Anything else? Are we done today? I think we're done.
I think we are, because I'm gonna save the rest of my stuff for another stream when my desktop computer is working, because it's a lot of XJW stories that have been documented in the mainstream news of their country, which is amazing. So I'm happy that more people are coming out and going to journalists and documenting their exit story. So I'm gonna read some of those stories next time. And I saw your DM on Discord about you, and is that the same Jonathan XJW that wants to do a show on my political show?
Yeah, I'll show you him.
Okay, I think I know who he is, because I saw your DM and I think it's so interesting that you guys want to do a topic like that for the political show, which is something that I've also wanted to talk about. So that's just another piece of news. We might collaborate to do a political show together on a given Tuesday. Yeah.
Well, we're in Canada here. We're ExJWs. I really know nothing about politics. This summer was a bit of a wake-up call for me, doing the on-the-road trip, because I got to experience all the immigrants coming in, and I got to see that there are actually some really, like 100. If I was to give a review to the immigrants, I'd give them 5 stars. I liked all of them. I liked the Uber drivers, all of these guys. They're really nice people. But our country is changing. That's what I'm realizing politically. It's a changing country.
Yeah, it will. It will change.
Our next president would have a turban. That could. Our next prime minister. We don't have presidents. That's how much I know about politics. We have my good wife here is always telling me, no, it's a prime minister, not a president. We have a prime minister. It's different. But it's interesting. We'll have a nice chat on the 2025. I read a little bit on Wikipedia that I sent you, and that's all I kind of have. Jonathan knows a lot more about it, but I told him Tuesday, when you hold your show, we'll just come on, and hopefully, you're there, and Jimmy or whoever else wants to talk about this. But it's kind of an interesting topic, this 2025 thing, and we'll cover that then. Okay, well, I think for today we got this covered. We're gonna enjoy voting.
Vern! I almost forgot. Did you see my promo video? Remember when I told you that this ExJW small business owner said if I want to make a promotional video for his company, and he'll send me like free merch? You should play it so you can see it.
Where is it? You can play it.
Well, maybe she can't. She's on her tablet.
Okay. Which one is it?
Is it the one called promo here?
Promo?
Yes.
Okay,
here it is.
Courtesy of the Loungers Club, I was gifted some merch, and I am more than happy to do a promotional video for the brand, especially since they are a fellow ExJW and small business owner. So let's get to know the company. The Loungers Club is a lifestyle clothing brand that promotes relaxation and comfort, weekend getaways, vacation, and just a stress-free lifestyle in general. Inspired by a cherished family heirloom, it became the symbol of their mission to create comfortable, stylish clothing that encourages people to slow down, unwind, and to savor life's little moments. From beachside picnics to late-night fireside chats, the Loungers Club invites everyone to embrace comfort, leisure, and positive vibes. The brand offers versatile clothing and accessories for men, women, and children. Please go check them out at theloungersclub.com.
That's excellent. I think that's great. If ExJWs are out there and they want to do a bit of advertising, this is a way that we can do it within ExJWs. That's great. Thanks for that, Ruby.
Yes.
And what do we have? Do we have anything else to
no, you can
talk
say
about?
hi to Jay. Have a good holiday, Jay.
Have a good holiday, Jay.
Yeah.
Jay's off on holidays.
Joe and Fran know the Loungers Club.
Oh, Joe and Fran, they know the Loungers Club.
Awesome.
Excellent.
I love it. Especially ExJW small business owners. If we could do like commercials for them, I would definitely do it. Just email me and I will do another promotional video.
Nice.
Yeah. So this is great. If you guys, Joe and Fran want to get a clock video going, we could do that. Make a commercial. I don't know if he wants any more work. Anyways. Okay, everyone. Thank you, everyone. And we're going to go out with this flash. We love you all. See you next Friday for the news. Bye for now.
Bye.
Thanks, Ruby.
You're welcome. Okay, so I'll see what you got.